Right now, something in your mouth is already working on food you haven't eaten yet. Saliva loaded with an enzyme built to break down starch the second it touches your tongue. You didn't choose that. You inherited it. And the creature that first needed it never planted a seed, never lit a fire on purpose, and definitely never tasted bread. Here's the strange part. That creature's teeth were smaller than yours. Its jaw was weaker. Its gut couldn't handle half of what a chimpanzee eats raw without flinching. So how did something built to fail at eating raw food survive on it for over 1,000,000 years? Then somehow flip the entire game. For most of human history, nobody was cooking anything. Fire existed in the world long before anyone controlled it. Lightning struck, grass burned, and every animal on the savannah ran the other way. Every animal except one. The question that's kept archaeologists arguing for decades isn't whether early humans eventually used fire. It's how long they went without it, and what that wait actually cost them. Picture her crouched at the edge of a cave, 30 meters back from the entrance, where daylight barely reaches. No sunlight starts a fire that deep on its own. Whatever's burning here, someone carried it in. That's exactly what a 2026 study in the journal PLOS ONE found at Wonderwerk Cave in South Africa. Researchers tested more than 160 fossilized bones pulled from two ancient layers deep inside the cave, and nearly every bone from the older layer showed clear signs of heating. Not scorched by a wildfire that swept through once. Heated repeatedly, deep inside a space no accidental blaze could reach. The dates on those layers stretch back as far as 1.79 million years. That's not a fire that happened to someone. That's a fire someone kept. Here's where it gets interesting. Wonderwerk isn't alone. At a site on the banks of a river in northern Israel, a team led by RIT Zohar found something even stranger in 2022. Buried in the ash were the teeth of freshwater fish, and the crystal structure inside those teeth had changed in a way that only happens under controlled, moderate heat. Not the heat of a body decomposing. The heat of something laid deliberately near a flame and left there. The fish were roughly 780,000 years old, and they may be the oldest direct evidence of cooking ever found. Move forward and you land in a cave called Qesem, also in Israel. A hearth there wasn't just used once. Researchers studying its ash layers found it had been rebuilt and reused in the same exact spot for 200,000 years. Different generations, different families, same fire pit. Imagine a birthday candle still burning long after everyone who lit it, and everyone who remembered them, was gone. So the fire was real, and it was old, but here's the part nobody talks about. Wanting to cook and being able to cook are two different problems. In 2012, researchers Felix Warneken and Alexandra Rosati ran an experiment with chimpanzees that should unsettle you a little. They gave the chimps raw food and cooked food side by side, and the chimps consistently reached for the cooked version. Some of them even waited patiently, holding raw food in their hands for several minutes, just for the chance to trade it in for something cooked. Chimpanzees understand what cooked food is. They plan for it. They just can't make fire. Your ancestors could. That gap, tiny and enormous at the same time, may be the real hinge point of the whole story. Fire alone wasn't the whole toolkit. Long before anyone shaped the clay pot, some groups figured out how to boil water without one. They dug a pit, lined it with a hide, filled it with water, and dropped in rocks pulled straight from the coals. The rocks hissed, the water climbed toward boiling, and food that would have taken hours to soften cooked in a fraction of the time. No pottery required. Just patience and a pile of hot stones. Some plants fought back. In the Amazon, a root called cassava carries enough natural cyanide to kill the animal that eats it raw. Somewhere, someone figured out that grinding the root, rinsing it, and finally cooking what was left made a deadly plant safe to eat. Nobody knows exactly who solved that puzzle first. We just know the method worked well enough that it hasn't changed in 10,000 years. Communities in North America ran the same gauntlet with acorns: grind, soak, roast, or the tannins turn your stomach inside out. And here's an irony worth sitting with for a second. For decades, Neanderthals got branded as the slow cousins of the family tree. Then researchers found they were collecting and grinding a mineral called manganese dioxide, mixing it into kindling to lower the temperature it takes to catch a spark. That's not brute force. That's chemistry. used by hands that supposedly never figured anything out. Every one of those techniques was solved by trial memory, and someone willing to get it wrong first. It took until 1912 for a French chemist named Louis Camille Maillard to finally explain, on paper, why seared meat tastes better than boiled meat at all. 100 years of kitchens, 1,000,000 years of campfires, and it took one lab coat to catch up with what your tongue already knew. So why did any of this matter enough to reshape a species? Here's where the experts stop agreeing. Richard Wrangham, the anthropologist behind the cooking hypothesis, argues fire itself was the turning point. Cooked food, he says, meant more calories with less digestive work, which let the gut shrink and freed up energy for something else entirely, a brain that was about to get a lot more expensive to run. Others aren't convinced fire deserves all the credit. In 2016, researchers Daniel Lieberman and Catherine Zink showed that just slicing meat and pounding roots with a plain stone tool, no fire involved at all, cut chewing time by roughly a quarter on its own. And a separate hypothesis from researchers Leslie Aiello and Peter Wheeler points to something else entirely, arguing it wasn't cooking specifically but simply a shift toward richer, easier to digest food overall that paid the brain's bill. They still haven't settled it. What they agree on is simpler than any single answer. Something about processed food, whether by fire, by stone, or by both, changed what a human body could afford to become. Open your mouth again. That enzyme is still there, waiting on bread you haven't eaten yet, built by a body that spent over 1,000,000 years learning exactly one lesson. Every bite you take now carries it forward: a cracked bone, a boiled root, a fire someone refused to let go out, all folded into one swallow you don't even think about. Change the food first, and the body will follow. It already did.